everybody, it's Becky. Welcome back to my channel. I have a collaboration video for you guys today that I have literally been wanting to do with this certain person for years. So I am really excited to be teaming up with Angela from This Gathered Nest. She is an amazing, super mom. She has 3 adopted children, 2 biological children, and she just had twin girls. And she homeschools most of them. I don't know how in the world she does it. She started out as a mostly beauty channel, and then she started doing homeschooling videos, and I love watching their vlogs because her and her husband work so great together, and she just, even though she doesn't always have it all together, she's honest about that. And I really trust her, and I don't have time to watch people on YouTube that I don't trust or I don't feel like they're really real. And she's one of those people that I just really truly feel like she is sincere, and what you see is really her. She's not just showing you all the perfect stuff all the time. You know, life gets messy and she shows you that. And I love that about her. And you guys really would love her and her family and all of her videos. So I will link her channel for you guys below in the description box in case you don't know who she is. And if you're coming to me from her channel, hey, welcome. Hopefully you'll enjoy today's video that I'm doing with Angie, and that you will subscribe and become part of my YouTube channel family. Where Angela and I are going to be talking about parenting fails. Things that we have done as parents that we look back on now and we're like, why did I do that? Or that was such a stupid thing to do, or I've learned so much about that since then. All those things that we do, that we've done, that maybe we still struggle with, that a lot of other people probably struggle with too. So I really hope this video is inspirational and gives you guys some peace of mind to know that maybe you're making some of the same mistakes as we are and you're not alone, or maybe you can learn from our mistakes and try to avoid them in your own parenting. I actually have 5 parenting fails. And my first parenting fail, and this was something I was really guilty of early on in being a mother. I just had 1 child at the time, and I really lost my temper and overreacted so much more than was necessary. And I feel really bad about that because my poor oldest daughter, I would lose my temper at her, and she says she doesn't remember that, and I'm like, thank goodness, because I would get so bent out of shape when anything in the day did not go as I planned it to go. Like if I planned for her to have a nap at a certain time and she did not take a nap, I would get so annoyed and so frustrated and just overreact over just that. And that's not really that big of a deal. I just was so worried though about doing everything as I thought it had to be done. And when it didn't work out that way, and I would lose my temper. So I would say that my temper has improved 100% from the way it was when my oldest daughter was little. Now I wasn't screaming at her and beating her. I would yell at her sometimes for things that really did not require, was not necessary to yell at her over. And I would get grumpy about things that really were not worth getting grumpy over. And I really do feel like, honestly though, that frustration came from feeling overwhelmed and just insecure in what I was doing. If I put her down for a nap and she didn't take a nap, I would freak out because I didn't know what to do. And I think that came from just being a young mom and being, not knowing how to take care of this child. I'd never babysat before. I didn't have any younger nieces or nephews or cousins because I was the youngest in the family. So I really do feel like that anger and frustration came from feeling overwhelmed and insecure in what I was doing. But now if I had to do it over again, okay, I know it's annoying they don't take a nap, but get them up, distract them, read them a book, do something else, and try again later. Don't get so worked up about it that you are losing your temper and you're yelling at your kids. That's just something that I have learned over the years from my own mistakes when my oldest was younger. So I have really learned to pretty much strike a balance between being as easygoing as possible while still giving my kids as much consistency as possible, if that makes sense. We still have a basic flow of our day, but we don't have a strict routine, like bedtime at this time and get up at this time and lunch is at this time. There's a hair driving me crazy. Kids pretty much know what to expect as far as how things are going to progress as the day goes on. But I don't have a set time, we get up at 8 and we eat breakfast at 9 and we're out of school at 12 and we go to bed at 8:30. I don't have a set thing. I have a goal in mind of when I would like them to get up and go to sleep. And I do certain things in the same pattern, supper, finishing homework, baths, story time, bedtime. That kind of stuff is something we still follow, but it's not a strict, routine of this time and this time and this time. And I don't get terribly bent out of shape if something gets delayed and we don't get in bed as early as we'd like, or dinner's not always on the table when I think it should be. It's really about striking that balance for you and your family and your kids of consistency and routine that works for you, but still being able to kind of roll with the punches and be a little bit easygoing and flexible when things kind of don't go as planned. Parenting fail number 2 is treating each of your kids the same way or expecting them to need the same style of parenting as the other kid. So I have an older daughter, she's 13, almost 14. My youngest daughter is 7, almost 8. And when I had my first daughter, when I had my second daughter, my oldest daughter was almost 6. And so I guess I thought that they would be like the same kid. I don't know, I thought they would need the same things when they were babies, and I thought they would need the same disciplinary styles, and I thought they would need the same thing from me, which is such a stupid mistake to make because they're 2 individuals. Just because they're sisters does not mean they're clones. They each have their own personalities, their own needs, their own things that they respond to better with discipline, and that is something I learned very quickly, that I can't try to treat both kids the same, and I can't try to be the same parent to both of them as I am. You know, I can't try to be the same parent to one of them as I am to the other one. My oldest daughter is very headstrong and stubborn and independent. My youngest daughter is very sensitive and emotional, and they both just need different parenting styles. They both need they both respond and need different types of discipline from me, and that's something that you have to figure out really with each of your kids because they're all different people. They may have some similar things, but they really are going to ultimately need different things from you in the regard of love and affection and discipline and all that stuff. So assuming that they needed the same thing from me was really a stupid mistake that I made early on, but I corrected pretty quickly. And I think we have it down pat pretty well. So really what I try to do is to remember to pray to be the type of mother that each child needs me to be. My oldest daughter, like I said, she's really headstrong and independent, and so she needs different things from me, and I try to spend more quality time with her alone because she is older, she can stay up later, so we try to do things together. And of course I have to discipline her differently. My youngest is very sensitive and very emotional and very affectionate. She still needs a lot of attention from me, physical attention from me. Not that I don't hug and give my oldest daughter physical attention, but you know, she's 13, she's growing up. She doesn't really need the same type of affection from me. For her, I think what gives her the feeling of love is when I'm able to spend more quality time with her on her own when nobody else is up, you know, her sister's in bed and all that. My youngest, you know, we do still spend time alone together playing and things like that. She doesn't stay up as late because she's younger, but she likes a lot more cuddles and just kind of laying in bed and reading a book together and that type of thing. So I'm trying to be the mother they both need me to be, and I really have to have God's help with that because it is sometimes overwhelming to try to be so many different things to so many different people and still be yourself and still be a wife and still take care of your house. And so praying really helps me to do that and helps me to see what each girl needs from me, because sometimes it's not clear. Sometimes you don't know what do they need from me. What do I need to do for this child for discipline or affection or whatever the case may be. And I think praying really does help me in that. So I try to remember to pray every single day to be the mother that each of my girls needs me to be. Parenting fail number 3, and this is a big one, is not making time for myself or my interests and trying to stay up really, really late to catch up. That is something that I did for years, literally until just a few years ago. I would stay up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning every night trying to catch up on book work and cleaning, and then I had started YouTube at some point along the line, so then I was trying to stay up and do YouTube videos, and I just absolutely wore myself down. I was actually at the doctor with some health problems that were not because I wasn't sleeping, definitely aggravated and amplified by not getting enough sleep. And my neurologist told me, he's like, you have got to go to bed earlier. And so that is a big thing. It is so hard to not want to stay up and just work all night long because there's always something you could do to be clean or do paperwork or cut coupon, whatever it is that you need to do. There's always something to do, but it is so hard for me, and I do struggle with it still, stopping at a certain point and going to bed. And so that's really important. And then just in general, don't stop taking care of yourself, and don't stop chasing your dreams and having goals and interests and hobbies just because you have kids. And I actually did a video with Kimmy from She's in Her Apron. I don't know if it's gone up or not yet. If it is, I will link it in the description box. But it's basically how to not lose yourself as a stay-at-home mom, because I got that question quite a few times from other stay-at-home moms who want to know, like, what do you do? How do you not lose yourself as a stay-at-home mom? And that was something I shared in that video a lot, about not giving up on your goals and your dreams and your hopes and yourself just because you're a mom. You are still a person. You're still the you that you were before you had kids. You just have kids now. You added mom to your list of jobs. But I think that's something that I did for a long time, a very long time, probably until about 4 years ago. I really stopped doing anything that was for me. I didn't exercise, I didn't have any hobbies, I didn't do anything really for myself, and I was not as happy then as I am now. I was happy with my kids, of course, but I wasn't as happy with myself. I wasn't as confident, I wasn't as motivated, and I think you just really need to find those things that challenge you, that motivate you, goals that you have. If you don't have goals and anything to work for, then it really is demotivating, and you find yourself just kind of drudging through each day, and every day seems the same. And so that's really boring, and it makes you kind of boring and bitter. So don't stop spending time on yourself and for yourself just because you have kids. You can definitely find ways to fit you time in your day, even if you have kids, and it is really, really important. Parenting fail number 4 is buying too many gifts for my kids. Now, I actually did a video a couple months ago about spoiled kids. I'll try to remember to link it below. I did that video because when I shared what we got our 13-year-old for Christmas, I got so many comments from younger kids saying, well, they didn't get very many presents and I'm getting a this and that and blah, blah, you know, all this like bratty, snotty, greedy kind of comments. And it really made me concerned that so many of these kids were so greedy and all they thought about was how many gifts they were going to get and how expensive they were, and if it was the newest iPhone, and if it was the newest Louis Vuitton purse, or whatever the case was. I made that video then to talk about like how not to spoil your kids, and that's how I know how to not spoil my kids, because I did. She wasn't a spoiled brat, but I definitely did. Every gift giving occasion she got, my oldest got like ridiculous amount of presents because she was the only kid, and that's what I did. I mean, you want to buy them lots of things, and I did. I bought her so many presents for birthdays and Christmas and everything you can imagine. And then almost every time we would go to the grocery store, I would pick her up a small toy then, and so she came to expect a toy, you know, whenever we went out. And then we would give them so many gifts for their birthday, for her birthday or for Christmas, that it just got to be something that it was like, well, I've got to keep up with giving her this many gifts because I've always given her this many gifts before. And then my youngest daughter came along, and I'm like, she doesn't even need anything. We still have all this stuff that was my oldest daughter's stuff. We don't have room for anything else. And it just kind of becomes a snowball. And so I learned pretty quickly that even though you want to give your kids lots of gifts, and even though maybe you can afford to give your kids lots of gifts, it really is in their best interest and your best interest to limit what you give them for holidays and birthdays, and not buy them something every time you go out somewhere, because they really do learn to expect it and associate things with love and affection, and that's definitely not the message that you want to send. And it also gives them the feeling that they need to go out and buy something new every time they go out. And so you're raising these kids that are going to turn into adults who feel like they have to have new things and all the time, like every day, to be happy and satisfied. It becomes a very bad habit. So that is something I learned pretty early on when having kids, is to not buy them too many gifts for holidays and birthdays, and not to buy them something every single time we go out. And I do have some other tips on kind of how to not spoil your kids in that other video that I've linked, so make sure you check that out. I do think there is some really helpful information in that as well. So definitely a parenting fail that I used to do, but I do not do anymore. And my last parenting fail is still something I work on every single day. I am still struggling with this one. The other ones, I figured them out. I pretty much got it down pat. This one though really trips me up, and it is not worrying so much about the house that I don't pay enough attention to my family. With all the things that I'm sure you have to do, and then all the things that I do as well, you know, I'm a homeschooling mom, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I'm a wife, and I work out almost every day, and I've got all these things going on, all of these balls in the air, and it's really, really, really a struggle for me to, first of all, be able to relax. That's one thing that I really struggle with. And the second thing is, just because I'm home with my kids all the day and I have the luxury of being a homeschooling mom and a stay-at-home mom, if that is a luxury, it really is a luxury, but it's a hard luxury. Just because I'm home with them all the time and I see them like pretty much 24/7 does not mean that's necessarily quality time. And so I really want to try to be more intentional, and I've been trying to be more intentional about taking some time, a little bit of time every day, to not work on other stuff, not work on YouTube stuff or school stuff or cleaning, and really play or watch a show or just talk, you know, even while we're having our bedtime snack, you know, sit around and talk with them. Spend a little bit of time with them extra when I'm tucking them in at night and just talk to them one-on-one. You know, read another story to my youngest daughter, or sit around and talk with my oldest daughter a little bit longer at nighttime. You know, trying to be more intentional with that time, because I've always got stuff to do and I'm always going to have stuff to do, but they're not always going to be young. They're not always going to be at home, and I really want to spend as much time with them as I can. And then when my husband's home, I really want to try to be more intentional about spending time with all of us together, you know, playing a game as a family or going somewhere, doing something. You know, we'll play games, like we'll ask each other questions like what's so-and-so's favorite color, and the other people have to guess, you know, just to kind of keep that relationship growing and as close as possible. And that is something that I struggle with, because I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, there's dog hair on the floor, I need to go vacuum that up, or I forgot to unload the dishwasher, or the dryer just buzzed, I need to go get the laundry out of the dryer. And that is probably my biggest, most ongoing parenting flaw, is really paying so much attention to that stuff that I don't spend enough time, quality time, with my kids and my husband as a family. So that's something I'm still working on, and I don't think I'm alone in this problem. I've heard other people say it before too, that they do struggle with the same thing. So it's something I'm working on, but I want to call myself out on it and let you guys know that I do struggle with that. So if you struggle with it too, you are definitely not alone. We are in this together. I think a lot of us have that same problem, but I thought I would share it with you guys just to kind of make you feel better if you do struggle with that. So if you like this video, make sure you let me know either by giving it a thumbs up or leaving me a comment in the comments section, because I definitely have other parenting fails that I'm sure I could share with you guys in a future video, like a part 2 to this video, if you'd be interested to see that. So make sure you let me know in the comments below. Make sure that you check out Angela's channel, This Gathered Nest. You will absolutely love her. Being a mother of 7, I feel like she has probably learned a lot over the years, and I really am anxious to hear what she has to say. So make sure you check out her video in the description box below. If you are new to my channel and you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to my channel if you would like to see videos from me. Every single week I do videos about cleaning and organizing and mom life and parenting videos and fitness and Disney videos. I do gift giving videos every Christmas and birthday and Easter, so I share what we get our girls for those things. And every May I do a Disney series on my channel where I share like packing tips and how to plan a Disney vacation, all kinds of good stuff, and I do upload every single week. So make sure that if you like any of those things, oh, and homeschooling, if you like homeschooling videos too, make sure if you're interested in any of those things, you subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell next to it so you'll be notified every single time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.